Johnny, how's it going? Wait for a few minutes, see if anybody else comes in. Hopefully we'll get a few people. Today I'm at Cafe Amazon. A police escort behind me. It's a joke. They won't let you sit up in the front anymore, and paper cups. I don't understand what I mean, I'm so tired of this. I don't want to bitch, but I mean, come on, paper cups. What is the problem? I mean, you know, at first I was giving Longhorns a hard time about, oh, you know, it's not that big of a deal. But now it's like, listen, we're 2 years in. It's not that bad. And somehow I really don't think that using a paper cup versus ceramics is going to save us, is going to do a lot for us. I just don't think it's going to happen. So I don't get it. And, you know, answer to the question, no, because of the ever-changing rules reporting. Yeah, I mean, I've seen this, you know, on Integrity Legal, his channel. And, you know, first I didn't think anything of it, but now, you know, it's not on the Washington, D.C. in the United States, but in Sydney, apparently, they're asking for the equivalent of 1.2 million baht. And, you know, stranger things have happened. Yeah, well, I am questioning the science. What difference does it make that I have this paper cup versus ceramic, especially if they're washing them and they're vaccinated? It's just stupidity. It's just nonsense. But with regards to the retirement, it's interesting to see what's going on. They haven't announced anything, but you're seeing it on various sites, and it's just kind of like they're just trying to slide it through without anybody knowing. And then when all the people come in to get their retirement visas, you know, listen, guys like Chuck, guys like Soy Dog Cowboy, Longhorns, when he's able to retire here under a retirement visa, you know, that's an extra 400,000 baht. I mean, what is that? $13,000? An extra $13,000? They're increasing it. I don't know who they think that they're going to attract here, because their numbers have been shit from the very beginning. And, you know, maybe they're just setting their targets really, really high so that anything looks good. I don't know. I don't get the logic of it. And I've said it a million times, but what did they set it at? They said that this year they were gonna, what was it? The sandbox was gonna get them 600,000 tourists, and it got them what? 130,000? And then the domestic tourists were supposed to be 125,000, and I think they got, what was it? I don't want to, I'm trying to remember here. They got the 120, they got something like 60,000, something like that. And now here they are, you know, they expect all these millionaires to come. I'm in shock. And maybe this is their way of driving people out. I mean, I would hope not. But man, it sure seems that They really want to make it difficult so that the number of foreigners in this country is extremely low. Because I know some people that have already told me, I don't care what they do, I'm not going back there. They don't like the attitude of the government. And you know, like a guy like me, I'm like, all right, you know, is it that bad? I'm already here. No, not really, but they certainly don't make it enticing. And I just talked to my buddy the other day, he's got a place in Ecuador, and he's like, please come to the United States. I really want you to go to Ecuador. I really want you to go. I think if you go there, you'll see. You'll like it. It'll be good for you. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you know, yeah, okay. But after being here for so long, you get comfortable. You get, you know, or even complacent. So we're in Cafe Amazon, not the one that I used to go to, but this is the one a couple blocks from my house that I walk by sometimes. Don't even question the barista or anything like that, because you're not gonna get anything. There's nothing. You get, you know, I don't even know who they are. A couple guys, a couple girls. But I'm curious to know, you know, like how many of you guys that are watching right now, I'm gonna put a poll up. I'm big on these polls, but I'm gonna put a poll up asking, you know, hey, if it goes up to 1.2 million, if indeed it is 1.2 million across the board now, will you come? And for me, one thing that will be a little difficult is if they don't grandfather all the people that have been staying here under 800,000, 400,000, 200,000 a month. I know guys who have been here, you know, for years, and they started out on 200,000. Another guy, 400,000, you know. So if they don't grandfather it like they did in Malaysia, that's going to cause a lot of problems, and that's going to cause a mass exodus. I don't think they're going to do that, but stranger things have happened. I'm scared of the false positive. That's what's stopping me now, learning of the horror stories. Yeah, this is the, you know, the test itself. It's not the actual testing. It's the false positive. It's the what if. And you get thrown in to some place you don't want to be. You gotta pay for it. Your insurance ain't gonna pay for it if you're asymptomatic. Most insurance companies aren't gonna pay for it. The insurance, okay, you know, I understand that. That's no big deal. I've said that too many times now, but you know, everybody should have some insurance here. And their insurance requirements, at least for getting into Thailand, are not that difficult to meet. But it just seems, I mean, it sure seems like they don't want foreigners here. And I'm not talking about the average everyday Thai person. I think they're kind of like, But I think the smart Thais know that if the foreigners go, the money goes with it. Much money goes with it. And you know, I've been talking about, I'm gonna go up to Chiang Mai or whatever. Listen, those companies are owned by, there's two companies that I'm looking at and I've been talking to, and they're owned by foreigners with their Thai wives. Now, what do you think it's going to do for them? Well, it's going to stop a lot of people from coming and staying here who might be regular visitors to their establishment. So I don't understand their logic, and I know I drone on about it, and I go over and over again about how I just don't get it and everything, but what are they thinking? We don't care? We don't care about their money? Well, it's 20% of the money, at least the tourism is, and you know, I think they really need to take a look at how many expats are here and how much revenue they generate for this country, how much they spend here. I mean, you know, it's a lot of money. I just think of the tuition that's been paid for my kids, and that alone over the years, they should be grateful. I mean, you know, listen, I give them a certain amount, you pay them a certain amount, you get something in return. So I don't mean to sound like, you know, they need to be grateful that I choose to spend the money or whatever. But what I mean is, they need to have some respect for the people who have lived here for a long time. And I'm not saying that the people here don't disrespect me very often. And if they do, I don't think it's done maliciously. I think the government, though, they send out the wrong message. That's my opinion. They send out the wrong message to people, and I don't even know what to say. I mean, I look at a lot of guys. You know, some guys will probably come over here. Some guys will stay here that I know. But there's going to be a lot of people. They've already turned off a lot of people. There's a lot of people that want to come here as a tourist, but think about the long run. There's going to be people that say, why do I want to live in Thailand? I can go live in other places. I mean, even I'm starting to think about it. I mean, really, I'm starting to think, you know, it's an expense to move, it's an expense to get set up. Then you got to think about generating, you know, income that will allow you the same standard of living. It's not something that I really want to do, and it wouldn't be easy, but it could be done if necessary. And it's, you know, this retirement thing, it's not going to stop me or anything like that. It's not going to have any bearing on me. But well, the poll will tell. I'll set up the poll. I wish I could have done it, but it's, you know, I saw this video this morning and I went, another video about this? I'm like, what the hell? What's he droning on about this for? But I started looking around and I started seeing things, and I started, you know, getting the people that I had got some messages from, and you know, this happens. They went up from 200,000 to 400, 400 to 800, and eventually, instead of maybe saying we're going to go up to 1 million baht, maybe they're going up to 1.2 million. Maybe they're not going to. Maybe it's a mistake. But why would they do it in Sydney and have it on the LA website? And it's not announced as of yet. So maybe this is coming. Maybe it's somewhere down the road in the near future. This is coming. I don't know, but it's definitely something to. I mean, when I came here, this place was the shit. You know what I mean? This place was the bomb. Everybody wanted to be here. Well, you know, damn near everybody. Generalizing again. There's so many things to do, and I was talking about it yesterday. So many things to do, so many things to see. But when it becomes more of a pain in the ass, the only reason that I went to Russia and to China is because my visas were taken care of for me. The people who I was involved with, the promoters, they took care of everything. I didn't have to worry about it. But, you know, like if somebody was to say to me now, do you want to go to China? I'd be like, no, definitely not. Do you want to go to Russia? It depends, but, you know, when I go through the hassle, yeah, I guess I would. I don't know about right now during the pandemic, or so-called pandemic. But if things were as they were before this, would I go there? I'd kind of like to see some of the country. I mean, it's a big country. I don't have any desire to go to China. But when you come here, I mean, things are better. I don't think you can dispute that. Things seem to be getting better, at least for tourists. For expats, I don't think it's that bad. But I think moving the goalposts, and they have they do this consistently. They move the goalposts consistently. You think it's going to be one thing, then it's another. And they change back and forth, and they let out information that maybe shouldn't be let out, and people are like, what? You know, there's no more income affidavits, so no matter what, it's going to be difficult for you unless you have some kind of a pension that is approved and by them, but by the Thai government, and they see that your pension paperwork is legitimate and they can verify it, or you're from a country where they're still issuing income affidavits, you know, you're kind of stuck. You're either going to transfer the money or put the money in the bank, or you're going to have to find some other way, marriage certificate, marriage visa, and then what? Now they're going to raise the marriage numbers. So are they going to raise it from 400,000 to 800,000, 400,000 to 600,000? You know, they're not going to just do one without the other. Eventually, there's going to be sweeping changes. That's the way I look at it. If indeed they're going to make these changes, there will be sweeping changes. And this place is already, think about it, you can't come here and stay for years at a time like the backpackers used to do. You can't travel around, use this place as a base. It's a lot more problematic than it used to be. Anyway, that's really all I wanted to talk about. I wanted to get a sense from you guys, but nobody's really saying anything here about this, so I guess nobody really gives a shit. You know, except those people who are on the verge of moving here. You know, I'm wondering about, I haven't talked to him, I'll have to message him, but I'm wondering about the other guy, Jim, that comes in here. See what he says, you know. Zero consideration to how much, yeah, exactly, Jeremy. Exactly. If I didn't have a family, you know, that is relying on me. We're relying on things like the kids going to school. They, you know, Alex is almost finished with school. If we didn't have all these things going on, we would live somewhere else. I mean, but you know, I figured out how much it'll cost for us to move somewhere, and it's you know, crazy. You got an email from who? Pattaya Bob, good morning. The insurance requirement, well, the insurance requirement, that's been for a while, Bob. That's been for a week now, a couple days, 5 days, something like that. I'm talking about the, yeah, that's been for a while, Bob. That's been for a little while, a short while. But the bottom line is that this is for the retirement visa. Now, if they do it where they grandfather it, okay, great. You got all the people who are here, they got their families, they've been living here a long time, you know, they're 80 years old, and they're like, well, what am I gonna do? You know, they got a pension, but they got enough money, and they don't have enough money to meet the 1.2 or something like that. I don't know. I just think that they planned on moving it. Well, there is no formal declaration as of yet. I don't think that it's been put through the Royal Gazette or anything like that. I don't know that it's going to be. I would imagine it is. We're still based in the U.S. Well, if you're based in the U.S., you probably got nothing to worry about. I do wonder if they will accept the Thai social. I do believe that they will, Steve. I could have sworn I read something that said they acknowledge that the people working here will, the foreigners working here who have insurance under the Thai system will be acknowledged and will be allowed to use that as their method of insurance. That's what I read. I understand, Bob, but they changed that a while ago. I've been telling you this. They changed that like a week ago. It's been in the news, man. Really. I'm talking about something different now, but yeah, what you're talking about, and the big thing about this 440 and 400 is, are they only going to do it for the people applying for new OA visas, or is it for people with extensions? Is it people for O visas? What is it? But right now they're just saying OA, you know. Yeah, but that's not what I'm talking about, though. I mean, I'm talking about the retirement visa going from 800,000 required to 1.2 million required. And this is, it's on at least 2 websites right now. So, you know, why would they put it on the website if it isn't happening? Or maybe it's at their discretion. I don't know. I can't believe that it would be. They hit me with it. Hit you with what? With the insurance, the medical insurance, or with the raising of the fee? Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you very much. Choke D. Right now, I could use every freaking satan I can get. I mean, I want to do all these things, running around, going rafting and all this other stuff. Man, I researched it all day yesterday, and I need to put the work in. I'll be putting the work in. I told my wife, I said, listen, I'm going to be going 2 or 3 days up in Chiang Mai, as long as my body can handle it. There's a number of them, but you know, and I haven't really looked very deeply aside from Ecuador, which I've stopped looking at it for about the last year. And I know things have changed there as well, you know, just because of really the last 2 years because of the pandemic. But Ecuador, Portugal, and Costa Rica. And I'm not too keen on Costa Rica. It's a beautiful place, but I don't know that I'd want to live there. I'm not sure. You know. And, you know, I haven't been to these places. So I want to, you know, I got to go there and visit for a while. And visiting is not the same as living there. So Ecuador, I got things, I got a bit of information, and my buddy's got a house there. He lives there. He's been wanting me to go stay there. He wants me and my family to come there and stay there and, you know, hang out for a little while and check it out and see what it's like and then try to move there. But why would I go live in Cambodia or Laos with my family? Think about that. What would I bring my Thai wife? You obviously don't know much about Thai women. You know, unless they're from the border of that particular country, they don't want to live in that country. They don't want to live in a country that they view as shittier than their own. That would be a huge step down. And what are they going to do there? Think about that. Now, if it was me alone, I would go there temporarily until I could square things away, maybe, a couple of months. But I've considered it many times. I don't think I would live in Cambodia. I don't think I'd live in the Philippines. I definitely wouldn't live in Laos. Maybe Vietnam. I don't know, But, I got a family, so I don't really think that way. My buddy is considering going to Cambodia, and he keeps telling me, it's getting closer and closer. It's getting closer and closer. So I just can't make these tables where the tables don't wobble. See, Starbucks is the same way. I don't want to bitch or anything, but let me see if I can fix this. Gennaro, good afternoon. Let's see if I can do this here. Now, phone, but you know, I didn't think I was going to be streaming, and I just saw this, and I thought, man, we got to talk about. I gotta talk about this. We got to talk about this. No, I don't think you're right. Okay, honestly, I think if you think about it long term, I don't think you're correct. Not Laos and Cambodia. Okay. I don't think they're going to be better than living in the UK if you're a UK citizen. You have absolutely nothing to fall back on in Cambodia or Laos. And the medical care there is piss poor, we'll put it that way. Well, yeah, that's another thing. If using an agent, who cares if or how much they raise it? No, but you can bet your ass that the agents are going to raise their fees as well. You know, if they're charging 20,000 now, they're going to be charging 30,000. You know, everything goes up. You know, this is how it works. And quite honestly, that's what they do in Vietnam. You do everything. What is going on here? You do everything through an agent, and they like that. It makes it much easier. You don't have to deal with them. You know, imagine working in immigration and having to deal with some of the people that come in there. And you know, I don't mean to sound like an elitist, but imagine some of the dumbasses going to immigration who get pissed off or who just can't understand, and they don't want to take no for an answer. Imagine some of the people from some of the countries going there and having to deal with these people day in, day out. That's your job. I do have some empathy for, you know, Thai immigration. That, you know, that's the other thing, is that you put yourself in a position where you're thinking about what is good for Thailand, what is good for Thai people, and what is good for the country, you know, what is good for the people coming into the country. Now, they come last. They come last. Hey, listen, in America, America first. Oh, but you can't say that. Bullshit. I can say it. Put the Americans first. Fuck everybody else. So if that's how it's going to be in America, then you can't expect the Thais to do it differently. You know, I don't particularly like it all the time. You know, the dual pricing. All right, sometimes I understand it, but sometimes I'm like, really? You got to charge triple the price, 10 times the price? Don't you think that's a bit extreme? You know, charge a 10% surcharge or something. I don't know. They do it all over the world, so you know, what are you gonna do? But you know, at some point they're gonna realize they're losing out. You know, don't understand why they haven't just made an easy long-term visa for digital nomads who have verified hostile company, Bangkok hosts, but they don't want to mess with a work permit. Well, supposedly they're going to have some kind of digital nomad visa, which I think is just a crock of shit, because I've looked at the specifics, and I don't think most digital nomads make all that much. An elite visa is a great visa, but technically you're not supposed to work. And you know, what benefits does it give you aside from, okay, they pick you up from the airport, you know, you get to stay, blah blah blah. That's the easy way. And there's part of me that's like, okay, well, can I raise enough money for 10 years? Do I really want to pay that? I could use it for something else, you know. If I had it, I could use it for something else, you know. So I don't particularly want to, I'm not in that elite class. The digital, first of all, I don't think it's been completely approved. It hasn't made its way through the system yet and been approved. You can't just get it. No, no, digital nomad is not under elite. It's a completely different visa. Look it up. I don't remember what it's called. I got too many things rolling around in my brain, and my memory's shit anyway. But it is different. Officer Friendly is gone. You know, you can't even sit up in the front area. They had a nice bench. It was very comfortable. You could sit there, and you can't do that now. They don't let you do that. I don't get this logic, man. Paper cups. I understand that, and I don't know that they're against that. I don't think they are. I mean, listen, if you're on YouTube, or if you're a writer or you're a photographer, and you're not doing photography in the country, and without like having a company set up to do something like that, then if you're outside of the country doing your work, I mean, I've had immigration tell me, even if you are working outside of the country, like you go out, okay, I go to Hong Kong and I'm a photographer. I got a retirement visa. I go outside and I work as a photographer in Hong Kong. Then I come back here. You're not supposed to qualify for a retirement visa because you're still working. That's what I was told. Now, it's all subjective to the person you're talking to. I don't know. I mean, immigration anywhere is just such a... Even in the United States, when I went, I talked about this before, but I hadn't gone back to the U.S. for many years, and I went back, this is years ago, I went back, and the guy at immigration said, "Oh, so you're in Thailand?" I said, "Yeah." "What are you doing there?" I said, "Working." "Oh, really? Why are you working there, not in the United States?" "Because I don't want to work in the United States. I don't want to be in the United States." So, and then I said, "No, actually, really I have a very rich wife." I was being a smart ass. And the guy just looked at me, And I'm thinking to myself, what the fuck business is it of yours? I'm an American citizen. It's none of your business. Kiss my ass. And I don't mean to be so abrasive or negative about this, but when I think about that kind of stuff, you think about it. Customs and immigration in the United States is probably far more nasty than the Thais ever get. The Thais just they want to make sure the paperwork is there. You do everything you got to do. You got a real problem, go hire an agent to do everything for you. They'll take care of everything. They'll even do your 90-day reports. I mean, the 90-day report takes like 5 minutes to do online. It's not a big deal. But I know quite a few people who are like, fuck that. I don't want to have to do anything. I just pay them and they do everything for me. Which is pretty damn good. So, but the big question is not really, how many people are they going to get to come here? It's, do they really want you here? Is this enticing foreigners to come in here? Are they going to get wealthy investors because they've now raised do they think, well, this wine is going to be better if I raise the price to $500 a bottle, even though before it was $25 a bottle? Because that's, in effect, that's what they're doing. Nothing is better here. Nothing's gotten better. They're going to charge people to come in. So what has been done to improve things, aside from the pandemic, taking care of things naturally, like in beaches and in the ocean and that kind of thing? What really have they done? I don't know. Aside from maybe putting a boardwalk in Pattaya and putting a different sign up and stuff like that, what have they done to make this such a high-end, wonderful place to come? It's always been a wonderful place, but I would not have called it a high-end tourist destination. To me, a high-end tourist destination is somewhere like Switzerland. I went to Cairns. That's a high-end tourist destination. Okay? I went to Guyana. That is not a high-end tourist destination. So, despite what they think, it's a wonderful place. It's beautiful. They got all these things to do and see. They have not been elevated to. They're not even anywhere near like Singapore. People think of Singapore. People think, oh, it's kind of expensive. You got the casinos now. Singapore is higher end. High end is Dubai. Yeah, this place is not high end. I mean, listen. Go to the average Thai. Tell them they're going to be on an international TV show. They'll be like, oh, wow, I'm international. Just like the lady I took her photo. She was so happy I took her photo because she thought she was going to be known around the world. And I mean, granted she was shown for a few minutes, but what does that do for her? It doesn't do anything. I mean, maybe it builds up your ego a little, but that's about it. The real cost is not the 1.2 million, it's the minimum outpatient insurance, which is now going from premium of 8,000 baht to 38,000 baht. You're talking about per year? Well, for you it might be 38,000 baht. But for other people it might not be nearly as high. Good morning, Dalo. I mean, even for me, you're talking about 75,000 a year. And that's a damn good insurance. That's about 7,000 a month. I understand, but you're going to have to pay 38,000 a month, or what? Hi. Okay, hi everybody. Jesus Christ. Yeah, but you're not over 70. I mean, for people that are older, if they have insurance in place, yeah, it's gonna be, that's crazy, That's crazy. What's on the camera? I don't know. No, but yeah, I don't know how it works with the outpatient on this new insurance. Because for everybody else, it's still 40,000 and 400,000. And I can tell you that 40,000 is dog shit. It's nothing. You're paying extra a certain amount. You figured this out, Bob. You pay extra for the outpatient, and it works out where if you don't use all of it, you lose it. Talking about that? You can't see me. Are you kidding me? I can see myself perfectly. So I don't know why you can't see me. Let's see if we do it this way. That should be perfect. Should be there is no opposite chair. Nobody uses that 40. The 40,000 is a joke because you get like it's actually 45,000. Let me see if I can sit somewhere else. It's actually like 45,000 a year. So you get 1,500 baht per visit to the doctor. Now, if you know anything, 1,500 baht, even here, is shit. Yeah, you got to have something going on with your camera there, Dowlo, because everything is perfect from the way I look at it. There's no extra shine or anything. I'm gonna move, see what I can do here. Yeah, there shouldn't be any problem with this, but I'm not holding this thing up. Thanks, my dome. Yeah, it's the chrome dome. They make it really difficult here because, yeah, they're winding you up. Okay, well, thanks a lot, bastards. Now you can all fuck yourselves. There's no glare, there's no shine, blah, blah, blah. That's what's on the camera. What's on the camera is my white freaking beard. Here, you can have this. Anyway, what the fuck am I at here? They've got like, it's like they don't want anybody sitting here. We don't want to get shut down for COVID. They took out 2 chairs over there. They got the benches where people sit, right, like up against the wall, like they're prisoners in a jail. Let me see if I can get over here. I may get another coffee. I don't know. It's just you, Dowlo. It's just you. Refresh your browser. There's nothing wrong with my screen right now. Everything is magnificent. You can see all the little hairs on my face and my nose, even the ones in my ears. Always got to remember to get those out of there. I don't want that. I don't want the old man hair coming out of my ears. This should be marvelous right here. Beautiful. There you go. I don't know what to tell you, Dowlo. Nobody else is having this problem. It's only you. Hit refresh. Change your browser. Whatever. Nobody can see anything? Are you fucking shitting me? How can that be? If anybody else is having video problems, please tell me, but don't fuck with me. Thank you, that's what I thought. There you go. Stop fucking with me, all right? If you got problems with it, it's your problem. It ain't mine. I'm sorry to say that, but it's the way it goes. Now, can we get back to whatever the hell we were talking about? Because I'm not going to be streaming all that long today just because I don't feel like it. There you go. If it looks good to Bob, then it must look good to everybody else. Bob, how's that new camera working out for you? I'm curious to know. Inquiring minds want to know. I still haven't looked at the details on it. Oh, fuck off, Bob. She's loving it. What about you? There you go. Bastards. So happy to not need a gimbal. Yeah, I can understand that. This is a bit fucked right now. Portugal? That's a huge long shot right there. I'd say it's between the United States, which I'd have to be a little old man to move there. Ecuador or Costa Rica. That's, you know. Portugal, oof. Still have not figured out the live stream with it. Well, that's a pretty important thing, actually. I would love to be able to live stream going down the river. I don't know about Mexico. I mean, you know, I spent some time there. I do speak some Spanish, but I guess it's a possibility. But honestly, I don't see us going anywhere for a while. I don't think it's going to be a problem. I'm not all that worried about it personally. You know, for me, I'm not all that worried about it. But for people who've been planning, I mean, like John, who planned for 10 years to come here. I mean, he's set up and everything, but like he planned for 10 years to come here. What about the people, they're planning for 2, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, and then, you know, things change and they're like, now what? I wouldn't live in Hawaii because the cost of living. I wouldn't live in Mexico City because I don't want to be in Mexico City. If I was anywhere, I'd be somewhere on the beach. I do have some friends there in Mexico. I have some Mexican friends there as well, boxers, but, you know. No Panama. I've been there. I don't want to live there. Yeah. I've been there. Been Nicaragua. You know, don't want to live there. Yeah, I'd say he's pretty happy. I don't think he's particularly fond of all the shit going on. But then who is? You know, you got to be reasonable and realistic. You know, it's not only here. If it was just this place, then that'd be a different story. You know, they changed the retirement plan in Malaysia, and in Malaysia they just said, sorry, we're not grandfathering anything. You have to come up with the figures that we set, whether you've had a visa here or you're an extension or whatever. You still have to come up with those numbers. Now, if they did that, I think there'd be a lot of pissed off people. There'd be a lot of people who just went, that's it, screw Thailand. I think that would be, for many, that would be the final straw. There's already been I mean, look at how many people have left already. You know, yeah, Costa Rica, I mean, that's a nice place, but I'm not sure of it, you know. I've been to Jakarta. I've been all over Indonesia. I like Indonesia, but not to live there. Here's the thing. Just think of something. Think about this. If I were single, I would probably live in Bali. I'm not single. My wife likes Bali. She doesn't love it. My kids, I don't think it'll work, them living there. So, I was beginning to wonder, I was like, you wouldn't mess with me. I know you. You're not going to mess with me like that. So I had a sense it might be on your end. You know? Well, good for what? You know, I mean, really, good for what? I've been there a couple of times for fights, for, you know, championship fights, and I had a great time. I was with the Jakarta media. I had a fantastic time. You know, these guys, I don't talk to them much, but I say hello or happy birthday or whatever, and I click thumbs up on their stuff sometimes. And if I went over there, I would let them know I was coming, and, you know, could we meet up or something for lunch or whatever, you know. In fact, one guy came over, Jeff, he came to my house when my kids were little. He came to Bangkok, and, you know. Well, Gennaro, I mean, I don't understand what is so difficult to figure out here. If you go as a single guy, you have your freedom. Fuck China. If you go as a single guy, you have your freedom to do and go where you want. You only have to worry about yourself you know, I'm not even like thinking about, oh, if I was single, what about the women? I don't give a shit about that. Because wherever you go, you know, if you're a little sharp and you got a little game, you should be able to work that out. But to go as a family, how would my family integrate as Thais? How would they integrate into, you know, a Muslim, predominantly Muslim culture or a Christian culture? How would they do that? What do you mean isn't that true about Thailand also? I don't understand. What do you mean? Hey guys, do me a favor, leave a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. Subscribe. You know, there's a smorgasbord, a hodgepodge of videos and streams and all that kind of stuff. How old are your kids? Aren't they basically on their own soon? You and wife can move and kids stay in Thailand. Oh yeah, obviously you know nothing about Thai women and Thai culture. You know very little to nothing about it. When you said it, said there's something special. Bali is a great place. It's a beautiful place. But what am I going to do? Do you think I want to try to start some business up in Bali and make a go of it and have my family work with me and all that? No. Well, we're going to start a Thai restaurant. And my kids they go into university so that they can be waiters and waitresses and help run the business. No. You know, and my kids, the thing is, my kids are 21, and actually, Alex is 21. Wait, he's 20. Let me think here. I know they're getting older because I can't remember. Alex is 20. Nicholas will be 19 in 2 days. Okay? They still have to finish school. We're not going to leave them behind. I don't think my wife will ever move and leave them alone. She won't move to some other place and they say, no, we don't want to go. I don't think she'll want to go. Now, if they want to go somewhere and move somewhere, like live in the United States, go in the military, whatever it might be, she's okay with that. That'd be different. Then maybe she would go somewhere else, but she's not going to leave them here in Thailand and just take off. Unless it meant all of us moving somewhere together. Then that's, you know, then we would do something. Never been to Bali. Seems almost every Australian has been to Bali. Well, Bali's a nice place, man. They got a great attitude there. It's a nice place. Love Bali. I will have family there if my son marries his Balinese girlfriend. That'd be good. Wouldn't want to live in the UK. And the last time, why the fuck would I live in the UK? I'm an American. If I was gonna live anywhere, I'd go back to America. You know, no offense to the UK. I mean, I've been there before, and I like it. If I was to go anywhere in the United Kingdom, it would be Ireland. But the weather there is shit. It's frustrating how a texted conversation can be out of context. Yeah, I mean, I understand. You know, Bali's a great place, but think about it. If you're a single guy and you go there, you don't have to worry about anybody else. You just go. You take off and you bail. If you're married, you have to think about, is your wife happy? Are your kid, and you got kids, are your kids with you? Are your kids happy? I wouldn't live in India if you paid me. No offense. Do your boys have dual citizenship? Yes. They're fine. They got dual citizenship. My wife has a visa. There's not a problem. Has Florida lost its charm with me? No. No, but America has its share of problems. You know, if if I lived in Florida, I want to live near the beach, and you know how expensive that is? Extremely expensive. Go live down in the Florida Keys and see what it costs to live there. Good day, y'all. Gotta love Thailand. You see, there's some people who still love Thailand. Let me. I think I'm gonna go get another coffee. All right. Here I can get 3 coffees for the price of one. Dude, or whoever you are, warm, sunny, rain. I'm way far ahead of you. All right. We went over this. We've thought about this. I've talked about this. It may happen. We'll see. We'll just give them a 35 baht here. 30. Freak out. Non cup. Cost espresso. Espresso. Try doing that in America. Last suggestions. Jamaica. Okay. My family has friends in Jamaica, and while Jamaica has some wonderful things, it is also very dangerous in some places. So there's a lot to consider. Yes. Your balls will thank you. My balls thank me every day almost, because I'm using something Manscaped almost every day. And my balls thank me. They when I wake up, they go, "Thank you, Scott." After a long, hot day, when I get off and get done with what I'm doing, and I go into the shower and I wash myself off, my balls say, "Thank you." They say, "Thank you, Manscaped." No shaved onion bag. Thank you. Thank you. Cheers. Das Vidanya. Actually, it's not Das Vidanya, is it? I forgot what the hell it is. I forgot most of my Russian. I learned a few words when I was there, and I don't remember what the hell to say. There's a place I wouldn't go there, you know. No, this is my Manscaped. You know, this is my Manscaped shirt. Manscaped is a huge company, and actually, I believe if you use the code Malin20, Malin and the number 20, you'll get 20% off your first order with Manscaped. Just go to manscaped.com. You get the lotion, you can get the shaver, you can get all kinds. You get t-shirts, you can get whatever you want, but you get 20% off. So, anyway, you know, listen, this is not really about me, because it is doubtful that, at least for another few years, I'm going to go anywhere. I may end up croaking here. I don't know. But it's kind of doubtful, because, yeah, it doesn't make sense. Especially now. My kids are still in school. You know. And I gotta, my life is pretty good, all in all, you know. The financial requirements aside, but for some people coming to Thailand, 400,000 baht is a lot of money, an extra 400 grand to just keep in the bank. What I'm wondering is how many people will that put off? And if it's 1.2, that means instead of showing that you have 65,000 baht a month coming in, you now need to show income of 100,000 baht a month coming in. That's quite a difference. I think you're happy in the land of smiles, and you're doing the right thing when you get bored. You visit islands or some villages to mix them. Yeah. You know, and I used to go out of the country once or twice a month. Once or twice a month. And I can't do that now, you know, but I can go to different cities, you know. And if you think about, you know, think about how many I've went to in the last year, 15 months. I mean, I've been a lot of places, a lot more than most people, you know. I've been to Pattaya like 3 times. You know, I took the trip to Bangkok. I don't know, that might have been over a year ago. Bangkok, Nakhon Phanom, Nong Khai, Riley, Krabi, Khao Lak, Phuket, Ayutthaya. Where else? Can't remember where else. 400,000 baht. Yeah, I mean, you know. Well, so some people may not have, you know, they may not be able to, or they may not want to put that money in a Thai account, you know. But it'll be interesting. I'll put a poll up after once I'm done here. I got a couple things to do, and I'll put a poll up, and we'll see how things work out. Right now, you know, I'm still debating on this whole boat thing. I'm going back and forth. I'm wavering between something like a canoe or a raft. But I really need to go and I need to get out on the river and talk to people. But the names are pretty much, they're the same as yesterday, the same favorites, you know, Chowderhead, SS Farang. I can't even remember them all. What was the one that I liked so much? Freedom. We've been traveling to Thailand twice a year for 10 years. It's getting close to 2 years since we were there. We miss it. I'll tell you the truth. If I had it to do all over again, and I was happy where I lived in the U.S. At the time that I left the U.S., at the time I lived in the U.S., I wanted more. You know, I was working for myself. I was basically a middleman. I was a broker for printing, and I was making good money. But I just was bored. I was like, man, I can't do this for the rest of my life. What am I doing? You know, it was just, first of all, it was a lot of stress with people, you know, constantly, when am I getting my job? Well, I told you it'd be on the 30th. Well, today's the 25th. You think you can speed it up? I don't know. I'll see. Then the next day, have you got my job yet? You know, that kind of thing. Thank you very much, Mr. Raymond Bear. Appreciate that. What is this here? Question, do you prefer a PayPal donation in USD or Thai baht, or it doesn't matter? It doesn't really matter, but Thai baht is usually better because the exchange rate, but man, the exchange rate's gone to shit in the last couple of days. And Pattaya Bob says it's because of all the Americans coming over here. And I did figure it out, and the amount of money that the United States is losing because people are spending their US dollars here worked out to something like was it 80 million? I don't think it was 80 million. Maybe it was $8 million or something like that. And this is just from the people who have come in so far. So that's a swing. And, you know, yeah, this COVID, thank you very much, by the way, Raymond, Choke B, and I do appreciate that. Yeah, this COVID, it's almost 2 years, man. I mean, think about something. I was in Hong Kong up until December 9th. And the 4 months previous, I was in Hong Kong until December 9th. I left. I was planning on coming back, and I heard about this virus. And then I was like, oh, well, that's not good. And then the next thing you know, it exploded. You know. And I was constantly, you know, trying to get money to go over there and see how much I made and all this other kind of shit. And so, you know, I wasn't in a big hurry to go back, but I wanted to go back fairly quickly, you know, like within a couple of weeks. But by that time, sorry, it's too late. Hong Kong shut down, and the world has changed now. Forever, probably. Bastards. Forget about going to China. Question, Koh Samui or Koh Chang if you had to choose one? Which Koh Chang you're talking about? The one to the east or the one in the south? Is it very south of Thailand? Well, you know, it's not recommended that you go there, especially if you don't know what the hell you're doing. If you don't speak the language, and even then, it can be a little dicey. Go to Hat Yai, you'll be all right. But the three provinces, Patani, Nakhon, what is it? Patani, Yala, and what the hell's the other one? Those three provinces are, you can go there, but I wouldn't go there if you don't know what the hell you're doing, you know? It's not recommended. I've been through a couple of them, and, you know, I just watched myself a bit, but, you know, the way that it works is 1 minute you're okay, and 1 minute you're not. Okay, if you go to the one in the south, I would say Samui. For what you're after. If you want to go someplace and you want to just chill out, you don't want anybody to bug you, you just want to relax, and I mean, there's not a whole hell of a lot to do other than walk around the island, go in the ocean, chill out on the beach, and you got a bungalow right on the beach that's like dirt cheap, well then go to Koh Chang. I had a great time when I was there. And the one to the east, oh, wait a minute, you said Trot. Oh, south, okay. Yeah. I mean, I like the other Koh Chang too, but, you know, there's so many places to go if you want. There's so many, you can go island hopping. You got the money, go island hop and do whatever you want. Stay there, and then you start getting bored, you go, I'm gonna go somewhere else. You go somewhere else. You know, I would do that, you know, and I still might go to Phuket with my wife. I don't know. I may go. Depends. But I got to get her, you know, I got to get her off her ass. She, you know, like with me, I'm like, all right, let's go, let's get it, let's get the ticket, let's do it, let's reserve it, just so that we know that's done. I don't have to think about it. She's like, well, right now I'm a little busy. I'll do it in a couple days, you know, and I'm like. Ugh. And she told me, oh, go ahead and just make all your reservations. Just do what you want to do. And I'm like, no, because then if we can't get things together, it's going to be, you're going to come in at this time, I'm going to come in at that time. I don't want to do it that way. It's like, if you're going to go, let's get it done. But, you know, you can always get a ticket to Chiang Mai. You know, we're just going to fly up there instead of taking the train because it's so much quicker, you know. What is this guy here talking about? A ways back, he said, BS, Jeffrey Todd. What is BS? I was wondering, I meant to ask you, what are you talking about? What's BS? You talking about restrictions? You talking about, what are you talking about? The money? You know. Enlighten me. Inquiring minds want to know. You know, this place just doesn't have the aura that Starbucks in the Mall Bunkaby has. Just not quite the same. I just didn't want to go there again today. Plus, every time I go to the mall, I spend too much money. You know, I gotta go get this. Oh, I might as well go get that while I'm here. And I really don't need it, you know. February 2020, last time there, just got home before the lockdown. You know what's funny is, I've forgotten about this too, you just said this, Andy, but Soy Dog Cowboy was in Pattaya, and I don't even remember the timing of it, but he said something like his parents are, you know, like they want him to come back. It's not safe, blah blah blah. And I said, if your parents are older, go back. You know, and it's probably a good thing he went back. You know, because if then he gets stuck here. I don't know. Maybe he wants to be stuck. He wanted to be stuck in Pattaya, but you know. But what I was going to say earlier is with Dallo, like with Dallo, what Dallo does, Dallo comes and goes a couple times a year. That's fantastic. That's the way you have a great time. You come and you go, you know, I'm going to stay for, I don't know, 4 weeks, maybe if I want 6 weeks, and you can do it. And then you do that, you go back home, you regroup, you charge your batteries, then you get sick of where you live, and you go, all right, I'm going to go back again. And you come for 4 weeks, maybe 6 weeks, you say, or 2 months, whatever. You know, I feel good now. All right, I'm ready to go home. I got some things to take care of. Boom, and you go back. You know. 1 week before the lockdown. Actually, you know, I don't know if he's still asleep. I don't know. But Longhorns he may be staying here a little bit longer. There's a chance, you know, because he went in to go get his extension, and he's got another extension, and he's good to go. So if he wants to stay longer, he can stay longer. But I think if he's going to stay longer, he's only going to stay like a week or something like that. So. Thai immigration has been very lenient with the people who are tourists or on no visa, visa exempt, or whatever you want to call it. They've been very lenient, and they've granted extension after extension to people, as I think they should, because for some people, getting back is problematic. Anyway, fortunately the ramen guy is right down the street, so I can get some lunch at the ramen guy. I used to go to Arizona on a regular basis for work. Oh, New Zealand. New Zealand is one of the places, and you know what? Believe it or not, the UK is one of the places, if there's some global meltdown, which I think means a number of things. New Zealand and the UK are supposedly places that are the safest to be, which I don't have the article in front of me, but you know. Gennaro, you want to go retire in New Zealand? It's not a bad place, apparently. My mother loved it. She loves it there. She really liked New Zealand a lot. She liked Australia a lot, but I don't know if she went right now she'd like it that much. A few billionaires have bunkers in New Zealand. I'd love to see New Zealand. How much longer until you retire, Gennaro? South Island is beautiful. North Island is very similar to Melbourne and Australia. What's the crime like in New Zealand? Every time I think of New Zealand, I think, I understand New Zealand is not an easy place to retire to, but every time I think of New Zealand, I think of the movie Once Were Warriors. November of 22. Wow. That's not very long, so you're counting the days, man. 365 days plus or minus. Gennaro, did you ever watch that canoeing thing that I sent you? Because I watched it before, but I watched about 12 episodes or something like that in the last couple days. No, you didn't. I'm gonna wager a guess you didn't. You did? Oh, okay. Pretty cool, huh? But you know, you see that he went and first of all, he had that big ass canoe. Second of all, he had two of them with two people in each of them. You know, and I don't know how that was financed, if it was, you know, his personal funds or he got it back on the videos or I don't know. I don't know, but he got around on the videos. He's very good, you know, the guy's very good at his videography and his film work is very, very good, which, you know, he's not what I would call a YouTuber. He just happens to be on YouTube. But he's done a lot of good stuff. I like his work. But that in particular showed me a lot. And the one thing that's different between that and going down a river in Thailand is that you got to find out, are there rapids where you're going? You know, are there any rapids on the Chao Phraya? You know, what are the currents like? If you go down the Ping, I've already seen now on the Ping River, the Ping River has rapids. So if you get one of the, you know, one particular kind of vessel, it may not work. And then I'm like, all right, well, so what if I got a canoe? You know how much freaking, by the time I got done with that, if I was able to do it, I would be in a hell of a lot better shape. And I don't know that I could do it, to be honest. Just canoe all that way. He did it with the help of one other guy in his canoe on a big ass canoe on a river that has a strong current. It was probably much easier, you know. I don't know. Anyway, I've been looking into it, which is why I sent it to you. I wanted you to look at it just to check it out, and I've sent it to a couple of people, that playlist. Pretty interesting stuff going down the Mississippi. I gotta have some fun, you know. I gotta have some adventure, some adrenaline. If I don't have that, you know, it's like. New Zealand is a very safe country to travel. It's just a long way from anywhere unless you're from Australia. You know. Love to go to Norway. Canoeing is hard work if the current is slow. Listen, this guy had some. I guarantee you those canoes were a couple grand each. You know. Which is why it's good to have some kind of a motor on your vessel if you're going a long way. But he did the whole trip with his buddy. And I don't know how many days it took him. That's what I'm going to probably finish watching the rest of it today. But I mean, he did something like, he was doing about 30 miles a day. Which is, you know, that's a lot, man. 30 miles a day. They have a thing for it's 10 kilometers and it's 4 hours. So what is that? That's about 6.6 miles, 4 hours. Nah, that can't be right. What the hell was it? I think it was 3 hours. But that was river rafting, a little bit different. Anyway, what's that called, Scott? I'll check it out later. The guy's name is Peter Braigel. It's like Braigel. And then you just look at his playlist, and he's got Canoeing the Mississippi. And you look at that, and each little episode's like maybe like 5-6 minutes, but there's, you know, the playlist just goes one after another, so it works out to, I don't know, an hour and a half or something like that, the whole thing. But it's really good, and it's interesting to see how he did it, but the Mississippi is not, I don't believe he went through any like rapids. He did have some portage areas, you know. Yeah, it's a different thing, you know, so I need a few trips for sure, and that's what I'm working on. There's a couple places, Chiang Mai, which that's where we're gonna go, Nan, and then Chantaburi, hopefully will be open eventually. And what was the other one? Oh, Kanchanaburi, that area. What was the name of the other? Oh, Khao Sok. And actually, Phuket has some places as well. So if I go with my wife to Phuket, maybe I could do another place. You know, we'll see. We'll see how it all works out. You know. I mean, I'm still, you know, I mean, even though I'm older, I'm still in good enough shape where I can do it. You know, as long as I can pace myself a little bit, I'm all right, you know. I'm not in a race. And, you know, if I have Longhorns there helping me, that would be better. The furthest I've been away from Oz is Sweden. I think the farthest that I've been anywhere, well, I don't know. I can't even. Nicaragua? No. Colombia? No. Guyana? No. Well, any of those areas. Guyana was a trip. That was a trip. I would like to meet ABBA back in the 70s. My hip replacement is good. I do feel it a little bit once in a while, but the one thing that I'm wondering about is if I'm sitting and my legs are cramped up, you know, they're scrunched up. They have to be. If I was in like a canoe or something, how would my hip fare? That is a concern. So that's why I want to be able to stretch out. I want to be able to stand up, which is why those catarafts are good. Or the alpacas, they might be good because there's plenty of room. Were those rafts you were looking for available in Thai? There are rafts available that are supposed to be good quality in Thailand, but most of them, no, they're not. You have to import them, which is why maybe, who knows, I'd have somebody bring it over. Chuck's supposed to come over here. Longhorns will come back eventually. So maybe somebody could bring one back and just kind of bring it through in a bag. I don't know. But somebody told me the other day, oh, well, check it out. Thailand doesn't charge for rafts and all that kind of stuff. That's not true, because I checked. The first 1,500 baht is free. After that, you got to check the duty charge, what the percentage is, and you know, that depends on a lot of things, the makeup, what they consider it, and all that kind of stuff. So I don't particularly want to have it shipped over, you know, and it's expensive as it is. I mean, you know, the cheapest one I found is about 600 bucks. That's really good, and that's the Scout alpaca. That's for one person. So maybe the duty would be 300 bucks, 400 bucks, which is still crazy. So it pays to get something from inside Thailand, but that's the other thing. That's what I mean. I need to get talking to some of these people and figure out what the deal is, or have somebody bring it in, which that's possible, you know. There's always people coming over that I know, and but that's a ways off, man. I mean, you know, the season doesn't really even begin here until June of next year. You know, where the water is right and all that kind of stuff. So, but there are places I can go now, and they actually have lessons, and they take you down the river, and you know, They show you things, how to read the river and stuff like that. So there are some things that I can do now to prepare. That's part of the plan, you know. My wife is into hiking and trekking, and that's another thing, you know. So she asked me, if we go up there, I want to go hiking. I said, okay, we'll do it. We'll work it out. So, you know, that way we can stay a little more active. Yeah, you know, you say that, but, you know, you got to remember, what's the point of using the raft? What's the goal? The goal is not to go down with 8 people or 6 people in a raft. You know, I don't know who knows what they have, you know? The goal is to go with like 2 people, maybe 3 or 4 at the most, you know? So what the hell do I want to buy a raft for 8 people? You know, I want to be able to do it alone. That's the other thing. I don't want to count on other people. You know, I take a little trip, I go down, I know, hey, maybe this isn't real gnarly when I can't do it by myself. I'm gonna need a guide. Okay, well, maybe I got somebody that can help me, or I just use their equipment. That's the smartest thing to do. But if you wanna do a long trip, then you're talking about a guide, and that, it's gonna cost you bank, you know. I highly recommend, there's a book, what the hell's the name of it? I'll give you guys the name of it. I'll put it down in the description when I get home. It's by the guy who, he got eaten by a crocodile in Africa, and I've talked about him before. His name was Heinrich Coetzee, and I think he was South African, and this guy was a badass, you know. He walked like from Kenya to Tanzania, and he was going through lion country and crocodile country, and, you know, sleeping rough. And he worked with a rafting company and a kayaking company going down, you know, whitewater. And these 2 guys contacted him from the U.S. They're kayakers. They're like world class. And they said, we want to go down this river. I don't even remember the name of the river. It wasn't the Congo. It was, maybe it was the Luganda or I can't remember. But, and they went down the river. And basically, he met with them, and they said, will you guide us? He said, I want to meet with you first. I got to make sure that you can, you know what you're doing. And so he did, and then he said, okay, I'll guide you. You guys know what you're doing, no problem, I'll do it. So they came back later on, and they went out on the river, and they're in kayaks. They're not on rafts, they're not on, you know, they're not in a boat, they're on kayaks, or in kayaks. And, you know, this was on National Geographic, and it was sad, but you know, the guy's like telling him, hey, you know, make sure that you stay in close to the shore so that the hippos don't get you. He's got his GoPro going, and this massive croc jumped up and grabbed him by the shoulder, dragged him under, and that was the end of him. Just like that. Really sad. But he's got a book out, and the book is very good. I've been reading it. I've had it for a long time. Actually, his family sent it to me. I contacted them through the website or whatever, and then his mother wrote me back, which was surprising, but really good book. It was a lot of work for the guy. He put the time in, but, you know, he had fun doing it. He liked to party, you know, and meet people and stuff and travel. It was great for him. There was, I don't think that some crocodile is going to get me, at least in Thailand. So that's a positive. But very interesting book, and his story was interesting, and it's on National Geographic. You just look up about the South African kayaker who got taken by a croc. Yeah. Anyway, good stuff. We don't have to worry about the massive crocs here, although there are salties here. way to go, man. I mean, you know, you can say, oh well, he went doing what he liked to do and what he loved to do and all that kind of stuff. But you know, I think it would have been better if he stayed alive. You know, I think his family would have liked that as well. But the two guys that they made a film out of it. They made a film afterwards, and what the hell was the name of it? I don't remember shit. You know, it's been a couple of years since I really looked at it. I remember when it happened. I've talked about it several times on streams, and you know, he was you know, he was an African who liked to go out and do things. You know, he was active. He was active out in the wilderness. You know, and that's how he wanted it. And I think that the company's still in business, or the guy is still around, you know, that was with him and that basically took him in and started showing him how to do things. And the other two guys are still doing their thing in the United States. But, you know, if you want to do anything like that here in Thailand, there's plenty of places to do it. You can go all over the place. There's plenty of people don't think about it. I just, you know, I went once a long time ago, and then I went with my wife and my kids in Khao Sok. We went tubing. Crazy. Thailand needs a new growth pathway. You know, the Thai people are, as a whole, it's an aging population. Maybe a canoe tour and adventure tour company to see how you go before. Yeah, well, that's the plan, Andy. You know, I mean, it's not cheap, even to go with a tour company. I mean, yeah, like one time is cheap, but to travel, to go there, to stay for a few days, to go more than once, I mean, you know, it adds up. It ain't cheap. And then to buy one is definitely not cheap. And then the thing is, you know, if I'm going by myself somewhere, do I really want to be out on the river alone, rowing on a boat? I don't know if that's the smartest way. You really need, like, you know, the buddy system. And just how good can I get? You know, it's not like I was fantastic the times that I went. I'm a beginner. So that's why I was like, well, maybe it pays to have a motor on the boat. I'm trying to have coffee here. Don't they know this? This place is pretty busy. I am glad that they made this place, because it's fairly new. It's just like 2 years old. And it beats the other place where I never really liked the way that the staff was treated by the owner. 45-kilometer trip in Pai. It was exhausting. Yeah. It's a little more expensive than that now. How long did that trip take? 2 days, or just a day, or what? I had to take a couple of days. That's cheap. Yeah, the birth rate is low and the death rate is high. Well, 10 hours non-stop. Yeah, that's another place. I forgot about that Pai. There's stuff going on there as well. That's what I mean. You can go. It's like I could do this every month. I could take one trip a month. You know, they do have multi-day trips where you go and, like, they have, like, they'll say, okay, we'll take you. You know, make sure you get to this place. Lukuga, that's what it was. Lukuga River, yeah. Yeah. Really, you know, pretty sad. You know, I would say at least he went quick. because of the size of the croc. That croc was well known in the area, and I believe it was the croc that was known as Gustavo, which had killed about 300 plus people. And it was like a 20-foot crocodile. I mean, it was massive. It was like 2 tons. So if you got an animal like that grabbing you, it's going to be like in the movies where it just grabs you and that's it. It's over. You're done. You know, it's not going to grab you by the fingers and give you a little chomp. No, it's going to, it grabbed him by the shoulder and just yanked him in under, and that was it. He was done. But there's so many places that, listen, if I have it my way, I'll go to every damn one of them, and I don't have a problem streaming it or shooting video of it or whatever. That's what I want to do. I mean, otherwise, what's the point? I just go do it on my own, and I'll have my fun. I won't document it. I won't do anything. Which is not what I'm doing now. So, keep watching. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Nah, 10 hours, but 10 hours, you're not like you're not going full bore for 10 hours. You go full bore for 15 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, and then, you go slowly. And then the current takes you, and then you've got to paddle, and you've got other people. They probably had 7 other people, including the guide on the boat. So the more people, you would think the faster you can go. Especially in slow-moving rivers. But I mean, I checked some of those places out, and like the Ping River, there are places where you'll be lucky to be able to get through without hitting the bottom. So a motor is not really possible unless you can put the motor up and it's not that heavy, and the boat will handle the bottom and blah blah blah. Yeah, it's fast flowing in Pai. Yeah, there's 3 of you. Okay. Let's not get carried away, First, I need to go out there and get out there and just get the groove back on, and go out there and get, I have been active lately. I've been doing a lot of walking, and I'm doing, push-ups every day. Push-ups and squats and, leg lifts and stuff like that. I've been doing that kind of stuff. Need a little bit more stretching. I need to do some stretching. But all in good time. It may take a year, Sounds like a live stream op. Well, I want to do it. The other thing is that all that shit, I got my phone. I can use it, but I got to be careful. And then if I go ahead and get the GoPro or the DJI, which I need to really look at closely, both of those. I need to take the time, which will take me, an hour or 2 to look at and figure out. And then look at them both, which will take, another couple of hours. Go there in person, let's look at them and see if I like them. I already know that Bob's, the one that Bob's talking about, the Osmo, is the magnet is very, very strong. Now, is it strong enough to where a massive wave hits it and it won't fall apart? Probably, but I don't know. I mean, the magnet is extremely strong. And then it's, there's a lot to look at. I mean, But that's something else. And then, can I live stream through that? If I can, and it's not that difficult, well, then that's fantastic. Yeah, I mean, it's the same in most of these places. I mean, in Chiang Mai, it's the same thing. It's about 60 kilometers. It's about 60 kilometers from the city. Will I take my drone? Doubtful. First of all, the controller doesn't work on it. Second of all, I'm not gonna bring the drone. It's heavy as shit. It's not one of these little tiny drones, and I can barely afford to get a freaking GoPro. I can't get a GoPro and another little drone and then worry about all that shit. You know. And I'm certainly not gonna lug the drone I have, the one that I have now. It's the Phantom 4. The thing is big, man. You know. Yeah, I know about the Pai trip. I know about Pai and Nan and Chiang Mai. They're all around the same. Some of them are like 2,800 baht now, 2,500. Some are 2,100. Some are 2,000. Some are 1,800 baht. Some have combinations of things that you can do. So I know about that. You know, but my wife wants to go to Chiang Mai for whatever reason. Now I could probably talk her into going somewhere else, but. Oh, is she doing the rope thing? Too much light. Too much light in the background. I forget about how you do this thing. I don't remember how you do it. Anyway. I mean, you know, if there's an average on over the holidays, over 400 kilometers in 5-6 days. Wow. Damn. Now, you got salties in the water? All the trips that they have. Now, there was one that I saw that was about 7,500 baht, and I don't remember. I think that was a couple of days. It was like 3 days or something like that. I gotta, you know, I have to write everything down. I'm gonna put it up on my website. I'm gonna put it on the community tab once I get it all squared away. But, you know, it's like, I was talking to my buddy and he's like, you know, don't think you need all this high-tech gear. You don't need a GPS. You got your phone. Make sure you got a battery pack that'll work and blah, blah, blah. Tamrot? No, I haven't heard of it. I don't know. It may be the way you're writing it. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I know there's one place in particular that I saw that said there is a cave, but I think that was on the Ping River, not, or off the Ping River, the Man Tang or something like that. The Tang River. So, I mean, this alone, listen, if I could do this, I'd just make my whole channel about river rafting, about using a boat to go down the rivers in Thailand. I mean, really, I would do that because it's a hell of a lot better than for me, it's a hell of a lot more fun. And, you know, granted, it may be a bit selfish, but I like to have a little bit of fun, especially if I'm going to stream or make videos or something like that, because quite frankly, I'm bored with a lot of shit, you know. I'm bored with all the tourist attractions and, you know, even going to the ancient city the other day, it was nice and it's great because, you know, Billy hasn't been there. But, you know, for the most part, I've been there, and without all the people there, I was like, what the hell? You know, it's just not the same, you know. How many times can you go see the same thing? I was getting to that point in Phnom Penh, which is why I went to some other places. Actually, with Billy. And that was a lot of fun. Battambang, Siem Reap, that was good fun, you know? So, this is me trying to break out of the box. I don't know what they're doing. Yeah, I know, I did consider those when I was there, Andy. And I just didn't think I had enough time to do it and to, you know. Needed a little more time. But it could be a good thing, you know? And listen, if I go ahead and get a boat in another 6 months, 9 months, a year, I go ahead and get some kind of a vessel, whatever it is, hopefully it'll be, excuse me, there'll be enough room for at least 3 people. Yeah, that's what I want to do, Dowlo. I mean, that's the whole reason for doing it. It's not to be on the river, getting sunburned, sweating my balls off, and, you know, wondering, do I have enough water, and, you know, what am I going to eat next, and should I eat a power bar, or, you know, what the hell I'm going to eat. The whole reason is to be able to say, hey, look at that right there, man. I'm going to pull up. And the reason that I even thought about all this is because when I went to up in the Golden Triangle, when I first came to Thailand, it was one of my first trips, maybe my second or third trip. I flew up to Chiang Mai, then went to Chiang Rai. They drove me up to Chiang Rai, and then they took me out to this place, and they put me on a boat with a few other people, like 3, 4 other people. I got a picture somewhere of it. And then they put me on the boat, and we were going down the river, and I saw all these little villages, and we stopped at a couple of them. And, you know, they're trying to sell you the little wristbands and all that kind of shit. But once we got a little bit farther on, we stopped in a village, and there was none of that. We were waiting for the elephants to come to take us, because you had to go use elephants, because it was the paths were not very good, and the village was out in the middle of a jungle and all the stuff where we went. That's what made me think of, I want to go down the Ping River. It may not be possible to go down that particular river, I don't know, you know, but Sapong River is called the Lam G River. Now, that doesn't sound right, is it? Nam Lang? They have ancient coffins in the caves, pretty... I'll have to check it out. I'll have to see where it is. I'm sure I can figure it out. You know, and my wife did say to me, hey, if you want to go up there a day or two before me, that's fine. And then, you know, like, if you don't want to go to Phuket, you can, or you want to come to Phuket like a day or two later after I get there. However you want to work it, just work it out and we'll figure it out. I'm like, okay, cool. So, you know, she's understanding when it comes to that kind of stuff. So, fuck. I'm looking forward to it. And that's in, I'm counting the freaking days, man. That's in about 15 days. That's about 2 weeks. Right about 2 weeks. You know. If I gotta pay 3,000 baht for a one-way ticket to Chiang Mai instead of 1,000, I'll wait a day or two, or I'll go a day or two early, whatever it takes. But, you know, like I said, we'll figure it out. Lots of fun to be had. And guess what? I won't be wearing a mask when I'm sitting on the damn boat. It's not gonna happen. What's the point of that? Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I've droned on long enough. Appreciate everybody watching. And I don't know if you saw the guy that I put a little video. It was from the live stream where the guy is singing that song where he goes do 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 the tom, which is a very famous reggae song. And I put the link down in the description and in the comments. And the guy who sings the song and the group that he sings it with, Job to Do, and his name is forget something. It is a strange name, strange Thai name. Anyway, he's married to a Western woman. He's got 3 kids. He's played all over the world, and his reggae is known as like he's like the most famous reggae. His group is like the most famous reggae group in in Thailand. And so I guess I should thank that guy who was singing it, playing the little pink guitar. Because when I heard it, I go, I know I've heard this song before, I just can't remember the name of it. And then my wife goes, oh, that's a Duta Tam. And I went, what? Huh? And then I, started doing a little research on it. I go, oh yeah, I remember this now. And if you listen to the song, it's a good song. So take the time, if you're into Thai culture and Thai music, take the time. And actually his album, which is a very famous album here, very well-known album, called No War, is also very, very good. And I've added it to my Spotify because I like it so much. So take a look at that. Anyway, that's all I have. I got nothing else to say. Thank you for joining me. Choke D, Jerken Mai, click thumbs up Bangkok, thumbs up Thailand, thumbs up. Subscribe, check down in the description. Check down in the description. And thank you very much. The last minute at the buzzer. Thank you, Dallo. I appreciate that. Check down in the description. See all the ways that you can help support the channel. They don't all involve your money. So, thank you for watching. Thank you, Gennaro. I'll give you a big shout out today because sometimes I forget the people that are in the stream all the time. I forget to give them a shout out. Thank you to Mr. Dallo, Choke D, and I will talk to you guys. I don't know about tomorrow, maybe not. I feel like going for a long walk, so we'll see. Just need to find out a good place to go. But for now, that's all I have, so see you later.